12 seconds. That's all it took for Ronda Rousey to destroy Alexis Davis and cement her legacy as the most dominant champion in UFC history.
Can she do it right here? And it's all over! Just like that!
But Ronda's story isn't just about quick finishes and broken arms. It is about breaking down barriers that an entire sport said were impossible to break. What's up, fight fans? Today we're going to be diving deep into the career of Rowdy Ronda Rousey, the woman who single-handedly revolutionized mixed martial arts forever. From Olympic medals to Hollywood stardom, from crushing male egos to inspiring a generation of female fighters, Ronda's journey is unlike anything combat sports has ever seen. So buckle up, because we're about to explore how one woman's relentless determination changed the face of the UFC forever. Born in Riverside County, California in 1987, Ronda's path to greatness was forged through tragedy and triumph. When her father took his own life when she was just 8 years old, judo became more than just a sport, it became her salvation. Her mother, Anne Maria DeMars, was no ordinary parent. She was the first American to win a world judo championship, and she pushed Ronda with an intensity that bordered on obsession. At 4:30 a.m. every morning, teenage Ronda was on the mats, perfecting the armbar that would later become her signature weapon of mass destruction. By 2008, Ronda had evolved into an Olympic-caliber athlete. At the Beijing Olympics, she became the first American woman to win an Olympic medal in judo since 1992, taking home bronze. But here's the thing about Ronda. Bronze was never going to be enough. That bronze medal became her motivation, her chip on the shoulder that would fuel everything that came next. While most Olympic medalists would be satisfied with their achievement, Ronda was just getting started. In 2010, women's MMA was essentially a sideshow. The UFC didn't even have women's divisions. Dana White famously said that women would quote-unquote never fight in the UFC. But Ronda didn't care about what Dana White thought. She cared about proving everyone wrong. Ronda made her professional MMA debut in 2011, and immediately the judo world took notice. Her first fight, 25 seconds, armbar. Her second fight, 57 seconds, armbar. This wasn't just a fighter, this was a finishing machine unlike anything the sport had ever seen. Within just 4 fights, Ronda had captured the Strikeforce Women's Bantamweight Championship. But Strikeforce was the minor leagues compared to where she wanted to go. The UFC was the holy grail, and Ronda was going to force them to open their doors whether they wanted to or not. The pressure was mounting. Ronda wasn't just winning fights, she was destroying opponents so quickly that even hardcore MMA fans who had never cared about women's fighting couldn't look away. Her charisma, her finishing ability, and her Olympic pedigree created a perfect storm that the UFC couldn't ignore forever. February 23, 2013, the day everything changed. Dana White stood at a podium and announced that not only were women coming to the UFC, but Ronda Rousey would be the inaugural UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion. The revolution had officially begun. Her first UFC fight against Liz Carmouche at UFC 157 wasn't just another bout, it was a statement. Nearly 450,000 people paid to watch on pay-per-view, proving that women could be box office draws. And even though Carmouche gave Ronda her toughest fight to date, the result was inevitable. First-round submission via armbar. What happened next was pure dominance. Miesha Tate, armbar in the 3rd round, but only after Ronda toyed with her for 2 rounds. Sarah McMahon, knee to the body in just 66 seconds. Alexis Davis, punch and knee combo in 16 seconds. Kat Zingano, flying knee into armbar in just 14 seconds, the fastest finish in UFC title fight history. But Ronda's impact went far beyond the octagon. She appeared on every major talk show, from Ellen to Jimmy Fallon. She hosted Saturday Night Live. She graced the cover of ESPN, the magazine's body issue. Sports Illustrated named her one of the most dominant athletes in any sport, period. What made Ronda special wasn't just her judo background. It was her absolute certainty that she was invincible. She didn't just expect to win. She expected to destroy her opponents so thoroughly that they'd question their own career choices. And for nearly 4 years, she was absolutely right. By 2015, Ronda had transcended sports entirely. She was starring alongside Sylvester Stallone in The Expendables 3, had a role in Furious 7, and was being mentioned in the same breath as mainstream superstars like Floyd Mayweather and LeBron James. Her influence on young women was immeasurable. Thousands of girls started training in MMA because they saw Ronda proving that women could be fierce, powerful, and successful in combat sports. She wasn't just changing the UFC, she was changing society's perception of what women could achieve in athletics. The numbers don't lie. Ronda's pay-per-view events consistently drew over 900,000 buys, with some exceeding 1.1 million. She was generating more revenue than most male champions, proving definitively that women's MMA wasn't just viable, it was essential to the UFC's future growth. Her armbar wasn't just a submission hold, it became a cultural phenomenon. Fans would count down the seconds until she inevitably grabbed her opponent's arm and ended their night. It was appointment television, and everyone knew that when Ronda fought, something spectacular was going to happen. But in combat sports, no one stays on top forever. UFC 193 in Melbourne, Australia, November 14, 2015. Ronda faced Holly Holm, a former boxing world champion with elite-level striking skills that posed a completely different challenge than anything Ronda had faced before. For the first time in her MMA career, Ronda looked human. Holly's crisp boxing and footwork kept her out of armbar range. And when Ronda desperately tried to close the distance, Holly landed a head kick that echoed around Melbourne's Etihad Stadium. And just like that, the aura of invincibility was shattered. The aftermath was brutal. Ronda disappeared from public view for nearly a year. The woman who had been everywhere suddenly became a ghost. Depression, suicidal thoughts, and a complete crisis of identity followed. The fighter who had never experienced defeat before had no blueprint for how to handle losing. Her return at UFC 207 against Amanda Nunes was supposed to be a triumphant comeback story. Instead, it lasted just 48 seconds, with Nunes overwhelming Ronda with strikes before the former champion could even attempt her signature judo throws. It was a devastating end to what had been the most dominant championship reign in UFC history. Now here's the thing about Ronda Rousey's legacy. It's not defined by how her career ended, but by what she made possible for everyone who came after her. Today, women's divisions are among the most popular in the UFC. Names like Amanda Nunes, Valentina Shevchenko, Rose Namajunas, and Zhang Weili are household names because Ronda proved that women could be superstars in combat sports. The numbers tell the story. Women's fights now regularly headline pay-per-view events. Female fighters earn multi-million-dollar contracts, and young girls around the world see MMA as a legitimate career path. None of that happens without Ronda Rousey kicking down the door. Even after her UFC career ended, Ronda continued breaking barriers. She became one of the biggest stars in WWE, headlined WrestleMania, and proved once again that her star power transcended any single sport or entertainment medium. Current UFC champions consistently credit Ronda with paving the way for their careers. Amanda Nunes, the woman who defeated her, has said multiple times that she owes her success to the foundation that Ronda built. That's the mark of a true pioneer, when your biggest rivals acknowledge that they couldn't exist without your contributions. Ronda Rousey wasn't just a fighter. She was a force of nature who refused to accept the limitations that others placed on her. She took a sport that said that women would never compete in its biggest organization and turned women's MMA into one of its most valuable assets. From Olympic bronze medalist to UFC champion to Hollywood star to WWE headliner, Ronda's journey represents something bigger than sports achievements. It represents the power of refusing to accept no as an answer. Every time you watch a women's fight in the UFC, every time you see a female fighter earn a 7-figure contract, every time you witness a young girl decide to start training because she saw what's possible, That's Ronda Rousey's legacy in action. 12 seconds to destroy an opponent, but a lifetime to change the world. That's the story of Rowdy Ronda Rousey, the ultimate UFC trailblazer. Now, what do you think about Ronda's impact on MMA? Let me know in the comments down below. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more combat sports content. Until next time, keep fighting.